in this devastating book, which included claims that Harry left Prince Andrew with a broken nose, a bloody nose at least, after a fight.
And in it he claims that Prince Andrew told Harry his marriage to Meghan Markle would not last more than a month, and Markle was just an opportunist and he should have checked that background better. It's great to see you again. Harry and Andrew have both denied the story. Does that mean it's untrue?
It doesn't mean that it's untrue, but it doesn't also necessarily mean that it's true. We really don't know what to believe. I mean, we often rely on...
She wasn't clueless. She was strategic, and the receipts prove it.
And most likely, the situation would have totally blown over. It's completely and utterly ridiculous, actually, I think, from a PR perspective, to even respond to this very short little statement about a fight.
Sometimes the juiciest secrets aren't buried in hidden vaults or whispered in dark corners. Oh no, they're right there, hiding in plain sight. And Meghan Markle? Her rise to royalty might look like a fairy tale, but when you start connecting the dots, things get unsettling. Every event, every glittering party she popped up at before meeting Prince Harry, it wasn't just coincidence. No, darling, there's a pattern. A subtle, deliberate trail that most people completely missed. It's like she was already playing chess while everyone else thought she was just attending another Hollywood party. Every move, every introduction, every accidental appearance, all pieces of a bigger plan.
Something behind his back and punched him in the nose. Joining me from London is writer, broadcaster and commentator Esther Crack.
Before Meghan Markle became the Duchess we all know today, she was just another bright-eyed actress in LA hustling for her next role. But even then, something about her stood out. She wasn't just chasing fame like everyone else. Oh no, she was plotting something far more sophisticated. A British journalist who met her years before she ever laid eyes on Prince Harry said she came across as different, quiet, calculating. Not the bubbly, charming woman the world would later see on red carpets and royal steps. Behind that dazzling smile was someone observing, learning, taking notes on how power really...
He didn't respond at all. Like, he did try to walk back the racism allegations in his interview with ITV, Tom Bradby, I believe it was. He tried to kind of walk them back and go, oh, no, it was the...
She didn't gush about her acting dreams or upcoming auditions. Instead, she talked about her tangled love life, failed relationships, and, here's the twist, her curious connections to people in the sports and social elite. Names were dropped casually, like pebbles in a pond, rippling with meaning.
Prince Harry are two of the most popular members of the royal family, and I will not be surprised if some of the claims made by Prince Andrew about his suspicions regarding Meghan Markle turned out to be true.
When Meghan mentioned footballer Ashley Cole, yes, that Ashley Cole, known for his wild nights and chaotic romances, her entire expression shifted. The second she realized someone in the room actually knew about him, she froze. It wasn't flirtation. It wasn't gossip. It was like she was studying the situation, measuring her words. She wasn't looking for love. She was collecting data, testing the waters, seeing which connections could open which door.
Press too. So Harry is perfectly willing to let things that undermine his family stay out there. But when it comes to him, oh, no. He has to fight back. But yet...
Even back then, there was a clear pattern. Meghan had this uncanny instinct for being in the right place at the right time. She knew which parties to attend, which people to accidentally bump into, and which whispers to let slip. Her interactions weren't random small talk. They were chess moves. Every word, every glance, every laugh carefully placed like part of a grand design.
We do know, rather infamously, that King Charles said that Prince Harry was...
Looking back now, those early coincidences feel more like chapters in a master plan. Her charm wasn't just charm, as it was preparation. She was studying the rules of influence, learning how power circles worked, and slowly building a roadmap that would take her to the very top. To the palace gates themselves.
Court is not going to change the court of public opinion when it comes to Harry, and his reputation is still in tatters right now.
Now here's where it gets wild. Meghan's college years. Everyone's heard the neat little story. A smart, ambitious student with acting dreams and a study abroad stint. But if you peel back the polished PR version, it doesn't.
Biographers and many royal journalists have actually confirmed. So we do know that there was a sense within the royal family, at least consistently from William to the King to, I suspect now, Prince Andrew, that they were quite unsure about.
Officially, she spent a semester in Argentina. Cute, right? A cultural adventure. But soon after that, she just vanished to Spain. No record of a program, no classmates, no host family, nothing, just silence. It's like that part of her life was quietly
in tatters right now.
Now, in terms of the book's revelations, which Harry has denied,
According to old sorority sources, Meghan wasn't sightseeing or studying language. She was mingling in circles way above the average college kid's reach. Yachts, luxury parties, men with serious money. And one name keeps popping up. Joan, or Ewan Elias, a billionaire with deep ties to none other than Prince Andrew. We're not talking about casual meetups here. These were people who could open golden doors most only
and his ungracious and ungrateful attitude. Andrew's relationship with his nephews was also a problem.
So was she just lucky? Or were those trips, Thailand, the Mediterranean, all those private yachts, part of a deliberate path? Because when you look at it closely, the timeline is too clean, too intentional, and get this, none of it appears in her official bio, not one word. Instead, she sells this squeaky clean narrative of international experience and cultural sophistication. But behind that polished image was something much more intriguing. Those months abroad weren't random. They were the early seeds of Meghan's quiet climb, brushing shoulders with the elite, learning the unspoken rules of power, and moving closer to circles most outsiders could never even glimpse. This wasn't luck, it was strategy. A long game, perfectly played. After those mysterious travels to Spain and Thailand, her social life starts to make a lot more sense. People from her sorority remembered her bragging, hopping from yacht to yacht, traveling across the Mediterranean, meeting influential men who, she said, changed her life. At the time, everyone thought she was exaggerating, but when you line up the dates, it matches too closely with trips made by billionaires and even royals. And that same name appears again, Elias. Not a casual friend, not a random connection, not a man deeply entwined with Prince Andrew with a very specific reputation, introducing beautiful, ambitious women to the glamorous and often dangerous world of the ultra-rich. Sorority parties, charity events, yacht gatherings, they weren't about fun. They were social stepping stones. And Meghan, she wasn't a guest, she was perfectly placed. Those yachts weren't vacations, they were stages. Private, exclusive, invitation-only stages where reputations were built and alliances were made. And Meghan? She fit right in. Elegant, composed, and quietly observant. She didn't need to shout for attention. Her mere presence was enough. The right people noticed. None of it was coincidence. Every appearance, every introduction, orchestrated. This was a woman who understood power long before she ever wore a tiara. She was studying how influence moved, how whispers turned into opportunities. And by the time she was done, she wasn't just an actress anymore, she was a strategist. By 2012, Meghan Markle had transformed from a background TV actress into someone who mattered. She was traveling internationally, showing up at events most actresses at her level would never even dream of attending. But something about those appearances felt off, like that trip to Hong Kong, her most puzzling one yet. Back then, Suits wasn't a global phenomenon. She wasn't famous enough for red carpet treatment. Yet there she was. First-class flights, exclusive interviews, elite access usually reserved for royalty or household names. And the weirdest part? A clip from that very trip once surfaced, Meghan casually mentioning that royals were around during her visit. Then, poof, the clip vanished. Deleted, wiped clean from the internet. And guess who was confirmed to be in Hong Kong around the exact same time? Prince Andrew. No one's saying they met, but no one's denying it either. The timing, the locations, the details. It's all just too neat. You can't call this coincidence anymore. The trips, the missing footage, the suspicious access, it all hints at something much deeper. This wasn't an actress chasing press opportunities. This was a woman moving carefully through a maze of money, power, and influence. And somehow, she always ended up near the same powerful people. Looking back, that Hong Kong episode feels less like a career trip and more like an initiation. It was Meghan stepping into a different world. A world ruled by quiet introductions, hidden influence, and whispers behind closed doors. The public saw her charming smiles and polished interviews. But behind the scenes, she was studying the architecture of power and perhaps meeting the very people who'd change her destiny forever. Then came 2013, the year everything shifted. Meghan Markle appeared at the Novak Djokovic Foundation Gala in New York. And this wasn't just any charity event. This was a playground for the global elite. Royals, supermodels, billionaires, Goldie Hawn, Naomi Campbell, Anna Wintour, Prince Andrew, Fergie, Princess Eugenie, and somewhere among them, quietly, unlisted, unacknowledged, was Meghan Markle. Here's the kicker. There are no official photos of her there. None. She wasn't even on the guest list according to the media coverage, but insiders swear she was present. So how does a mid-tier TV actress with barely 100 minutes of screen time end up rubbing shoulders with literal royalty? That's when the pattern becomes undeniable. Wherever Prince Andrew or his inner circle appeared, somehow Meghan wasn't far behind. Not in the photos, not in the headlines, but always there, lurking just off frame. Quiet, intentional, strategic. That gala was her silent debut. To most people, she was invisible. But for those paying attention, she'd already cracked the code. She knew exactly where to stand, how to speak, and when to disappear. She left impressions, but never evidence. It wasn't just another event. It was rehearsal for royalty. This wasn't luck. This wasn't fate. This was access. Meghan had mastered the art of navigating high-profile circles without leaving a trace. Building power through proximity, crafting mystique through silence. That gala was her final test. The moment she proved she could blend in with the world's most powerful without anyone realizing just how deliberate it all was. If that gala was her test, Soho House was the reward. And her ultimate playground. Because that's where power really lived. Behind velvet ropes and whispered guest lists. If the Novak Djokovic Gala was Meghan's dress rehearsal for high society, then Soho House became her personal playground. Her secret stage where the world's most powerful whispered, schemed, and seduced opportunity behind frosted glass doors. Soho House wasn't some cute brunch spot. It was the underground pulse of celebrity royalty. Actors, aristocrats, billionaires, everyone who mattered passed through those doors. And Meghan, she had the key. She wasn't just a guest. She was a student of the game, watching, absorbing, perfecting her moves. He openly accused Meghan of being an opportunist, saying she was too old for Harry, that his nephew was making the biggest mistake of his life. The tension between the princes? Oh, it had roots, and Meghan's name was at the center of it long before the tabloids even realized. At the time, Chopra's network wasn't just spiritual. It was elite, tied into philanthropic fronts that overlapped with Epstein-connected foundations. So when Meghan appeared in those spaces, it wasn't some happy accident, it was a signal. She'd arrived in the world where money, secrecy, and influence collided. Nothing particularly surprised me there, Brittany. Even though I think it's beautiful color and fascinating detail, these weren't your everyday celebrity parties. These were the kind of gatherings where decisions that shape industries were whispered over champagne. And Meghan, ever the observer, played her role perfectly. Charming, poised, and oh so strategic. She wasn't chasing fame anymore. She was courting power. At the time, his network was tightly connected to elite and controversial circles, including Epstein-linked charities. Exactly. That's the world Meghan had stepped into. Willingly or not, we'll never truly know. But one thing is clear. She learned fast. How to move quietly. How to be noticed just enough. How to make sure every introduction counted. And his two nephews? No, definitely not. And when it comes to the Meghan Markle comments, that was basically the comment pretty much everybody in Harry's family was making. The truth is, everyone around Harry had warned him. Friends, family, even insiders at Soho House, they all asked the same question. Are you sure? Do you really know her? Spain, Thailand, those yacht trips with the elite, none of it ever makes it into interviews or official biographies. And whether Meghan knew it or not, her path kept tracing the same outline, the one shaped by Prince Andrew's circle of influence. But when it comes to William, I 100% see William's obvious disdain for his uncle and why he would want him out of Royal Lodge. Exactly. The tension isn't just royal family drama, it's layers deep, full of resentment, fear, and the ghosts of old scandals. Behind the curtain, every piece finally fits. The yachts, the lost footage, the elite introductions, the vanished trips. It all leads to one inescapable truth. Meghan Markle's rise wasn't accidental. It was deliberate, calculated, engineered, and now, with the receipts finally out in the open, the story everyone thought they knew is unraveling in real time. The truth is no longer buried. It's blazing right there in front of us. A royal mystery exposed in the harshest, most glamorous light imaginable.